Welcome to When Life Gets Strange, tips for loving your perfectly imperfect military and everyday life. Let me introduce you to my wife and your host, Maria Strange. We have been married for over 20 years, over 17 years in the Army, and she is the mother to our 6 children, and we are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. As a certified life coach, Maria's goal is to help you thrive and love your perfectly imperfect military and everyday life. Are you ready?
Hello, ladies, and welcome to episode 35 of When Life Gets Strange, Finding Joy. Happiness is not a destination, but a method of traveling. The human race has only one effective weapon, and that is laughter. Mark Twain. Braun said, all who joy would share it. Happiness was born a twin. So this past week, as many of you know, we had Giving Tuesday. Well, last week. I record these podcasts on Fridays and they get released on Monday. So finding joy, right? This past week, I participated in Giving Tuesday and it was really amazing. We had donuts that we passed out and I took my daughter with me and we went to the state police, and the lady officer who opened the door was so excited and was so grateful, and to see my daughter's joy and her happiness as she served and shared with others. And this police officer, she's like, oh, let me get my Stetson and we'll take a picture together. And we did that, and she went and got stickers for my daughter. And to start this morning off of just serving others and the joy that that could bring. And then I dropped my daughter back off at home and I met up with a friend and we went into the hospital and we brought donuts to the nurses in the different units. And one of the nurses, Nurse John, he was just overjoyed at receiving these donuts. And we're trying to get people together to take a picture to put on the Giving Tuesday's national page and to share it on social media, because that's part of the Giving Tuesday, is showing everybody so everybody can see the kindnesses that each other are doing, right? And he was so excited. He's like, can we hurry and get a picture? Because I'm so excited for this donut. And just to see his pure joy helped me to feel more happy. And then we brought him to the DPW, the Department of Public Works, and to recognize all the hard work that they do in keeping our roads plowed and the conditions safer for us driving during the winter. That for me has been such a blessing. And I'm grateful for where I live, that they do such fantastic road maintenance and that I feel safe, that I can get out and drive, and that they're there and they're taking care of us, and to be able to serve them for a change as they're always serving us, and to see their happiness at being recognized. Then we painted windows at the different nursing homes, and we went to one in the morning with other wives, and we went to one in the evening with the Girl Scouts, and the second one, we got to go inside and paint their room where they eat in it's not their kitchen, their lounge area, right? And helping the little girls get up on the window ledges to reach higher, to be able to paint their pictures for these men and women who are in this nursing home and who are being taken care of, and to see their excitement. I sat back and I watched as one little old lady, her whole face was just lit up. And she's like, just look at these kids. They just love us. And she just had this overwhelming amount of joy. And she was so excited that we would come in and do that for her. And so as we talk about joy and happiness a little bit today, I want you to think about, how will you find joy in the deployment? How will you find joy as a military wife? How will you find joy at this duty station that maybe you don't love or that you didn't want to go to? And that finding joy is possible in all these things as we think about the things that bring us joy, as we find joy in serving others and in looking for the little things. Like I may not love my husband being deployed for Christmas, but I can find joy in those little moments. I have one of my favorite Christmas pictures it's a picture of my husband on the screen, those of us at home, and my son serving his mission for his church. And we screenshotted it, all of our faces on the screen. And it's absolutely one of my favorite Christmas pictures that we've ever taken, because it shows me that we can connect, even though miles separate us, that we are still a family unit, that we are still connected. And every time I look at that picture, it brings me joy as I think of that Christmas and some of the challenges that we had of being apart. And yet we were still able to find ways to come together. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some different things for finding happiness or joy. And the first one is that we celebrate the health that we enjoy. We celebrate that we can work, that we can get out and do things, that we can serve our military spouses. And sometimes that might just look like the way that we serve is making a phone call. We could be pregnant and on bed rest, and or have a sickness that makes our bodies hurt at times, but yet we can still find ways to get out and to serve. We can make those phone calls to those other military spouses whose husband is deployed. We can choose to enjoy the little moments with our husband where we do connect. We can have strength to battle the difficulties that we face. And I know at times we feel like, I can't do this, I can't take another step. But that is when we can look in and focus on, okay, what is the next thing that I need to do? And as we focus on, I am going to get out of bed and get dressed for today. And we can take joy in that I was able to get up today and to get dressed. Or if all the strength we have is to call our kids into bed with us and let's watch this movie together. Or let me write in my journal today, that we can find joy in these little moments. Joy is made for the hard times. I heard that recently, and I've thought and pondered about that. What does that mean, that joy is made for the hard times? It means that we pause and we look outside of ourselves, for me anyways, that I look for, what can I find good in this situation? Where can I find happiness? That joy that comes not from having everything going my way, but is it the little, it's the little things, holding the door for somebody, seeing somebody's eyes light up. One of my things that was really funny, I was at the commissary with my daughter, and one set of doors was automatic and you came to the next one and it wasn't. And she stops and she's waiting for the door to magically open as the door before had, right? And the soldier walks up and he opens it and he goes, "Here, let me get the door for you." And she's like, "Oh, it doesn't open by itself." And he's like, "No, but that's what I'm here for. I get to be the door opener." And we kind of laughed and joked about it. And she's like, "Mom, it made him so happy to open the door for us." And I was like, well, yeah, because soldiers, they love to serve as human beings. Most of us enjoy giving service to others. And this was just a little funny example, but there was so much happiness in that moment. And it was a little thing, and opening the door for somebody and seeing it light them up, seeing the woman at the nursing home be so excited that these children, that we were willing to give of our time to come in and serve. And then as the week went on, I went and helped a friend move into an office space. She runs an online boutique, and we helped her. Most of the loading had been done when I got there, and we got to sit around and chit chat and enjoy one another's company. And then when her older son got home from school, we drove over to the new location and we helped her unload it. And watching her and her family interact, and the love and the comradeship and the joking, and just that joy that it brought to me, to see my friend happy, to see that her business is progressing to the point that she needs to take her shipments out of her home and into a business space. And then the next day, I got to participate in a stone soup in my community. And we made stroganoff for 106 people, I think. and they got to come and pick up these. Some people picked them up, other people were delivered, and working with a handful of women who wanted to serve others, who wanted to make their community a little bit better, and to see the happiness that they had, that was able to bring true joy to me. And to see these women serving and loving. So joy, it can't be taken from us even through our hard times. But going back to that concept of joy is made for the hard times, I get it. It's hard when your spouse is gone. It's hard when you have to do Christmas alone. It's hard when your children are making choices that you don't agree with. It's hard when your spouse is struggling at work and he's not feeling fulfilled. It's hard when you don't love the weather outside. All of these things can be hard, but I know as we look for and focus on the good things in our life that we can find joy. We can find even our children who are making choices that we might not like. There are things that they're doing that we do like. And when we look for those, we're going to see more of them, and we're going to be able to strengthen and build our relationships. When our husband is having a hard time at work and he's grumpy when he comes home and he's frustrated, we can look for ways that we are connecting. What are the things that he's doing good that we can maybe compliment him on, and we can help to build him up, and we can find joy in our marriage, even in the hard times. We can find joy when our spouse is on a deployment, and a lot of the time we might not be feeling all of the connection we want, but in those little moments that we do connect, where we find something that's an inside joke for the two of us, that we can really build upon that and focus on those things. And at this Christmas season, as we're celebrating the birth of our Savior, he's all about bringing joy to the world, to all of us. And he wants us to find that joy. And it doesn't mean that we're going to not have hard times or that we're not going to struggle, but it means that through him, we can find joy. We can choose to look for our blessings. Even when our basement floods for the umpteenth time and our spouse is deployed, and what are we going to do with this water that's up to our, that's above our feet, and you're just standing in this, and I'm like, now what? What else could go wrong? And your friend happens to call, and you sit there and you tell her, and she's like, I got this, don't worry. And she comes over and she brings her husband, and you guys find a solution, and you can take joy in that friendship, in those people who are there to help you through it. And I know some of you feel like sometimes there's nobody there, but that's when you can reach out on social media. You'll be amazed at the help that is out there when you're choosing to see it. You'll find other military wives who are willing to step in and help. You'll find people in your community. I think one of my favorite things about where we live, and it brings me joy every time, it just makes me feel happy, is our local hardware store. Anytime we go in, normally Spencer's with me, but if I tend to go in 2 or 3 times without him, the people know us well enough, and I'll be buying something, and they're like, Maria, you're here buying this. You're here again without Spencer, because normally he's the one that goes to the hardware store. And do you need me to come help you take care of whatever it is I'm buying? I could be buying nails. Oh, what are you fixing? What are you nailing? And I'm like, I'm doing a craft project or whatever. Okay, well, if there's anything you need, or I'm buying plastic to cover my windows because it's cold where we live. Maria, do you need me to come help you put the plastic up? And these are just guys at the hardware store. And they're asking me because they genuinely care about me and my family. And we have built those friendships. And that's where true joy can come in serving and allowing others to serve us. I think that is a big part of joy, is being willing to allow others to serve us. Because when we can serve and be willing to let others serve us, then we're together in this, of building these relationships, of building these foundations that lead to joy. So joy is in each of us. We can find joy by choosing to look for and find the things that are happening that are good. The little things, somebody holding a door for us, somebody picking up a piece of garbage off of the street, a text message from a friend, a moment of connection between you and your husband, a moment of silence in your home can bring you joy. And I know that as you look for these moments, as you're constantly striving to see how joy can be a part of your life, that you're going to find it. And sometimes that means rewriting the story a little bit. If you think that you always find happiness in your circle of friends, in having somebody to go out and do these, to go do certain things with, and you're at a new duty station and you don't have those things, how can you find joy in a new way? Is it learning to like yourself better? Is it learning to be okay with, this is the duty station we're at, and I might not love it here because I might not love the snow, but I can love so many other things about this. I can love watching my children experience snow. I can love the fact that I get to sit inside a warm house and I can experience the beauty of the snow. Is it the fact that I have a vehicle that I can start before I leave the house so that it's warm? And as I look for these things, I'm going to start to experience that joy. Is there somebody that I can connect with? Is there somebody that I can serve and maybe help them through whatever it is they're going on? And can that be what brings me joy? And so I just really want you guys to recognize that we can find joy in the hard times. And really, it's finding that joy that can help us to make it through the deployment, make it through the training, make it through the hard times when our husband or a child is struggling. That as we look for things to be grateful for, to have joy about, that's going to help us to show up in the way that we want, because our minds truly do find what they are looking for. And so if we're looking for things to bring us happiness, if we're looking for that joy in the midst of our trials, then we will find them. And so that's what I have for you guys today. If you're interested in learning more or would like to work with me, you can sign up at mariastrangecoaching.com/work with me. I'm offering free 60-minute sessions. So sign up. I would love to connect, and we'll see you next week. Bye.